In 4 years, Harold Mitchell went to 78 chemotherapy sessions. In those same 4 years, his children visited him 23 times. Do the math. That's one visit for every 3.4 chemo sessions. Each visit lasted an average of 18 minutes. Harold knew this because he recorded every single one. Harold Raymond Mitchell was 76 years old, and he spent the last 4 years of his life conducting an experiment. How long can a father suffer before his children notice? The answer? They never did. Not until he was dead. Here's how it happened. Harold was born in 1943 in a small Pennsylvania town called Millbrook. His father worked at the steel mill. His mother took in laundry to make ends meet. They were poor, but they were proud. Harold learned early that hard work wasn't just a virtue, it was survival. In 1965, Harold became an elementary school teacher. It was a small-town school, 1 story, 6 classrooms, dirt hallway. But Harold loved his job. He loved the kids. He memorized every name, knew their families, knew who was having trouble at home, who came to school hungry. In 1967, at a church social, he met Ann Williams. She was a nurse, quiet, kind, with softness in her eyes. 6 months later, they were married. The children came quickly. Jennifer in 1972. David in 1975. Rebecca in 1978. Christopher in 1981. 4 kids in 9 years. Money was always tight, but Harold worked overtime. Second shifts. Weekends. Holidays. Whatever it took to put food on the table and shoes on their feet. And was the heart of the family. She baked bread from scratch, sewed their clothes, read them bedtime stories every night. The house always smelled like cinnamon and love. Harold wasn't an affectionate man. Life had hardened him in ways he couldn't explain, but he showed his love through action. He fixed their bikes, built them a treehouse, drove them to school every morning, even if it meant he'd be late to work. The kids grew up in that house. Jennifer was the serious one, always reading, always studying. David was the social butterfly, organizing neighborhood games and putting on backyard plays. Rebecca was the baby, quiet and observant, always watching, always listening. Christopher was the oldest, always getting into fights, testing boundaries. The years passed. The children grew. They went to college. They got married. They built their own lives. Jennifer became a realtor. She was good at it, made decent money, but she always wanted more. Bigger houses. Nicer cars. Designer clothes. David became a lawyer, corporate law, big firms. He got married, had 3 kids. He was always busy. Always in a meeting. Always somewhere else. Rebecca became a doctor. Medical school cost Harold $160,000. He dipped into his retirement savings to pay for it. Rebecca was successful, a respected surgeon, but emotionally distant. It was like she'd built walls. Christopher became a businessman. He'd start ventures, sell them, chase the next big deal. He won, he lost, he won again. He never stopped moving. Harold was proud of them. All 4 successful. All 4 independent. All 4 with families of their own. But something had changed. The visits became less frequent. At first, they'd come once a week. Then once a month. Then holidays. Then, rarely. And noticed. Harold noticed. But they didn't say anything. In 2014, Ann got sick. Heart attack. Mild, but scary. She spent a week in the hospital. All 4 children came to visit. Once each. 30 minutes total. Harold was there every day. All day, morning to night. He held Ann's hand, read to her, talked to the nurses. And recovered. She came home. But she said something Harold would never forget. They don't need us anymore. No, that's not true, Harold said. They're just busy. And looked at him with those wise, tired eyes. No, Harold. They don't care. And you know it too. Harold couldn't argue. Because Ann was right. In March 2015, Harold went to the doctor. He'd been having prostate problems for months. It was worse than he thought. The doctor ran tests. A lot of tests. The results came in April. Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Phillips said, looking at his chart. You have prostate cancer. It's early stage, but it's an aggressive type. You need to start treatment. Harold sat quietly. The words hung in the air, but didn't quite register. Cancer. How serious is this? He finally said. Very serious. Without treatment, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 years. With treatment, 5 to 10. Maybe more. What does treatment involve? Chemotherapy. Radiation. Probably surgery. It's going to be rough, Mr. Mitchell. You're going to need family support. Harold drove home. His hands were shaking on the steering wheel. That night, he lay next to Anne. He didn't tell her. Not yet. In the morning, he thought about calling his children, telling them, asking for help. But he hesitated. Over the last 2 years, how short had the visits been? How superficial had the phone calls been? How are you, Dad? Fine. Good. I'll call you later. They never called later. Harold made a decision. He wouldn't upset them. He wouldn't add to their burden. He wouldn't interrupt their busy lives. He'd handle this himself. In May, he went to his first chemotherapy session. The waiting room was full of elderly people. Some with family, some alone. Harold was alone. A nurse, her name was Linda, took him back. She put the needle in his arm. The poison started flowing into his veins. Is your family going to pick you up? Linda asked gently. Harold smiled. They're very busy. I'll call a cab. Linda looked at him with pity. She said nothing. The first session lasted 2 hours. Harold threw up afterward. He felt dizzy, weak. He walked home. It took 20 minutes. He had to stop and rest 3 times. And was home. She was watching TV. Where were you? She asked. Just taking a walk, Harold said. The weather was nice. And looked at him strangely, but didn't say anything. That night, Harold noticed a clump of hair falling out in the bathroom. It had begun. In June, he went to the 2nd session. Then the 3rd. Then the 4th. Every week, the same routine. Tuesday mornings. Chemo at 9 a.m. home by 11:30. Bed all afternoon, sick. By evening, he'd rally. And still didn't know. In July, Jennifer came to visit. It was an unplanned visit. She was in the area, stopped by. Harold was sitting on the couch. He wore 2 beanies, one to hide the hair loss. He wore a baggy shirt, to hide the weight loss. Dad. How are you? Jennifer said in a bright, fake voice. Fine, sweetheart. How are you? They sat. They made small talk. Jennifer talked about the real estate market. A new listing. A big commission. 15 minutes in, her phone rang. Sorry, Dad, I have to take this. It's a really important client. She stayed on the phone for 40 minutes. Harold sat quietly, looking out the window. When Jennifer left, she kissed Harold's cheek. Love you, Dad. I'll come by again soon. She didn't. In August, Harold made another decision. He would record everything. He bought an old video camera. A small tripod. He set it up in the corner of his bedroom, hidden behind furniture. Every time a child visited, which was rare, he'd turn on the camera. They wouldn't see it. But the camera would. And Harold, after the visit ended, would turn to the camera and talk. Just to the camera. Just to himself. This became his diary. A video diary. The recordings of a dying man. September 2015. Video number 1. Jennifer's house. Harold came to visit. Without telling her. A surprise. Jennifer opened the door, surprised. Dad. What are you doing here? Just visiting. I missed you. Jennifer looked uncomfortable. Oh, Dad, today's really not a great day. I have so much work. Just a coffee. 10 minutes. Jennifer let him in. But she was clearly uncomfortable. They sat. Harold drank coffee. Jennifer texted on her phone. 8 minutes later, Jennifer stood up. Dad, I'm sorry, but I really have to go. I have a showing. Harold stood. Okay, honey. I understand. At the door, Jennifer gave him a quick hug. See you later, Dad. Harold walked home. It took 31 minutes. That night, he sat in front of the camera. I visited Jennifer today. I stayed 8 minutes. She was busy. Real estate stuff. I understand. He paused. His eyes were wet. Today was my third chemo session. My hair is starting to fall out. Nobody noticed. October 2015. Video number 2. David's house. Harold came for Sunday lunch. David had invited him. Rare these days. The whole family was there. David's wife, Kelly. Their 3 kids, Jake, Emma, and Sophie. Harold sat at the table. The kids were loud, playing with their phones. Kelly was cooking. David was watching football. Dad, want a beer? David called from the living room. Sure, son. David brought him a beer. Sat next to him for maybe 3 minutes. Then his phone rang. Sorry, Dad. Work call. Give me a minute. 20 minutes later, David was still on the phone. Lunch was served. They ate quickly. The kids asked to be excused. They disappeared upstairs. David's phone rang again. Sorry, Dad. I have to take this. Harold sat at the table with Kelly. They made awkward small talk. 45 minutes after he arrived, Harold said, I should probably get going. Oh, Dad, you don't have to leave, Kelly said, but she looked relieved. David was still on the phone. He waved goodbye. That night, Harold sat in front of the camera. Visited David today. Sunday lunch. I was there 45 minutes. David was on the phone for 30 of them. He looked down at his hands. They were thin now. Bony. I've lost 16 pounds. Nobody noticed. November 2015. Video number 3. Rebecca's house. Harold hadn't seen her in 6 weeks. She was a surgeon. Busy schedule, he understood. He called ahead this time. Rebecca, honey, can I come visit? Oh, Dad, I'm really swamped this week. Can we do next week? It's been 6 weeks, sweetheart. A pause. Okay. Come by Thursday. But I only have an hour. Thursday came. Harold drove to Rebecca's house. It was a nice house. 2 stories, manicured lawn, new cars in the driveway. Rebecca opened the door. She looked tired. Hey, Dad. Come in. They sat in her living room. It was clean. Expensive furniture. Everything in its place. How are you, honey? Harold asked. Exhausted. 12-hour shift yesterday. I really need to rest. I'm a little tired too, Harold said carefully. Yeah, getting old is rough, Dad. It's normal. You should take naps. It helps. Harold looked at his daughter. She was a doctor. A trained medical professional. She didn't notice he'd lost 20 pounds. She didn't notice his skin was yellow. She didn't notice the dark circles under his eyes. Or maybe she did notice. And she just didn't care. I should let you rest, Harold said after 23 minutes. Thanks, Dad. I'll call you next week. She didn't. That night, Harold cried in front of the camera. Rebecca's a doctor. She treats patients every day. She looks for symptoms. She diagnoses diseases. His voice broke. But she can't see her own father is dying. The months passed. Harold went to chemo every week. He lost more hair, more weight, more strength, and started to suspect something. Harold, you look thin. Are you eating? I'm fine, he'd say. Just getting old. In January 2016, the cancer spread to his lungs. The doctor said it was stage 3 now. More aggressive treatment needed. Harold agreed to everything. He went to radiation 5 days a week. Chemo twice a week. He was exhausted. Constantly nauseous. In pain. But he didn't tell anyone. February 2016. Video number 4. Christopher's office. Harold stopped by. Christopher had texted, Dad, in the area? Come by the office. Harold went. He was wearing a wig now. The hair loss was too obvious. He wore padding under his clothes. The weight loss was too extreme. Christopher's office was sleek. Glass and steel. Modern. Dad. Good to see you. Christopher gave him a quick hug. They sat in Christopher's office. Christopher talked about a new deal. A potential investor. Big money. That's great, son, Harold said. Yeah, if this goes through, I'm looking at 2 million profit. Harold smiled. I'm proud of you. Christopher's phone buzzed. He looked at it. Dad, I'm sorry. I have a call in 5 minutes. Can we catch up another time? Of course. Harold stood. They shook hands. As Harold left, Christopher was already on his phone. That night, Harold sat in front of the camera. Christopher's doing well. $2 million deal. He's excited. He paused. I tried to tell him today about the cancer, but he was busy. I understand. March 2016. Video number 5. Anne's birthday. Harold had planned a small family dinner. He invited all 4 kids. Jennifer. Oh, Dad, I can't. I have a huge closing that day. David. Sorry, Dad. Jake has a soccer tournament. Rebecca. Dad, I'm on call that weekend. Christopher. I'm in New York for meetings. None of them came. Harold and ate dinner alone. He made her favorite meal, chicken parmesan, garlic bread, Caesar salad, and cried quietly. They don't care about us anymore, Harold. They're busy, honey. They have lives. We have lives too. Or we used to. That night, Harold sat in front of the camera. But he couldn't speak. He just cried. April 2016. Video number 6. Harold's birthday. He turned 73. No one called until 9 p.m. Then Jennifer texted, Happy birthday, Dad. Sorry, crazy day. Love you. David texted at 10 p.m. Happy birthday, Pops. Talk soon. Rebecca texted the next day, Happy belated birthday, Dad. Sorry, I forgot. Work was insane. Christopher didn't text at all. He called 3 days later. Dad. Happy birthday. Sorry, I was traveling. Did you do anything fun? No, Harold said. Just a quiet day. That's nice. Listen, I gotta run. Let's catch up soon. That night, Harold sat in front of the camera. Today was my birthday. I turned 73. I also had my 20th chemotherapy session. He looked directly at the camera. Nobody remembered. Well, they remembered late. Does that count? The months continued. The cancer got worse. Harold's body was failing. In July 2016, and found his wig. Harold, what is this? He couldn't lie anymore. And, I have cancer. I've had it for over a year. She stared at him. What? Prostate cancer. It spread to my lungs. I'm in treatment. Anne's face went white. Harold, why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to worry you. After your heart attack. Harold. She was crying now. Angry. I'm your wife. You don't get to decide what I worry about. She held him. They both cried. Do the kids know? She asked. No. Harold, you have to tell them. I will. Soon. But he didn't. August 2016. Video number 7. Family barbecue. And had insisted. She called all 4 kids. Your father needs to see you. All of you. This weekend. They came. All 4. First time in 8 months they'd all been together. Harold looked terrible. The wig helped, but his face was gaunt. His skin was gray. They gathered in the backyard. Harold manned the grill, like always. Burgers and hot dogs. The kids were on their phones. Their own kids were running around, and tried to make conversation. Harold watched them. His 4 children. Successful. Beautiful. Alive. And so far away. After lunch, Harold tried to talk to them. Hey, can we all sit down for a minute? I need to tell you something. Jennifer looked at her watch. Dad, I really need to get going. Traffic back to the city is going to be terrible. David, yeah, Dad, I promised Jake we'd hit the batting cages. Rebecca, I have an early shift tomorrow. Christopher, what's up, Dad? Is it important? Harold looked at his children. He opened his mouth. The words were right there. I have cancer. I'm dying. I need you. But what came out was, no, nothing important. Just wanted to say I love you all. Love you too, Dad, they all said. almost in unison. They left within 30 minutes. That night, Harold sat in front of the camera. I tried to tell them today. I couldn't. He was crying. I don't know why. Maybe I'm afraid they won't care. Maybe I'm afraid they will care, but only because they have to. Not because they want to. He wiped his eyes. Is it better to die alone? Or to be surrounded by people who are only there out of obligation? September 2016. Video number 8. Harold collapsed at home and called 911. He spent 3 days in the hospital. Severe dehydration. Malnutrition. The doctors said he needed to eat more, drink more. All 4 children came to the hospital. Finally, Jennifer came first. She stayed 20 minutes. Dad, you scared us. You have to take better care of yourself. David came that evening. 15 minutes. Dad, you okay? You look rough, man. Rebecca came the next day. She was in doctor mode. She talked to Harold's oncologist. Read his charts. Then came to his room. Dad, why didn't you tell us you were this sick? I didn't want to worry you, Harold said. Dad, we're your children. We should know. But she didn't stay long. She had surgery to prep for. Christopher called. He was in California. Dad, I'm so sorry I can't be there. I have meetings. But I'll visit as soon as I'm back. He didn't. Harold went home after 3 days. That night, he sat in front of the camera. They came. When I collapsed, they came. Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe I need to almost die for them to visit. He laughed. It was a bitter sound. The funny thing is, I am almost dying. I'm just doing it slowly. And they don't see it. The videos continued. Months passed. Harold got weaker. October 2016. Video number 9. November 2016. Video number 10. December 2016. Video number 11. Each one the same. A visit. A disappointment. A confession to the camera. In January 2017, Harold's doctor said the cancer had spread to his liver. Stage 4. Terminal. How long? Harold asked. 2 years. Maybe less. Maybe more. It's hard to say. Harold nodded. No more treatment. We can keep you comfortable. Pain management. But the aggressive treatment isn't working. It's time to think about quality of life. Harold stopped chemo in February 2017. His hair grew back. He gained a little weight. He felt better. Not healthy but better. The kids noticed. Dad, you look great. Jennifer said on a rare visit. Yeah, you do, David agreed. They thought he was getting better. He wasn't. He was dying. Just more comfortably. March 2017. Video number 12. Easter Sunday. The whole family gathered at Harold and Anne's house. It was chaotic. Kids everywhere. Food. Laughter. Harold sat in his chair, watching, and was in the kitchen with the daughters-in-law. He felt like a ghost. Present but not really there. At one point, he tried to talk to David. Son, can we talk? Sure, Dad. What's up? Harold opened his mouth. The words were there again. I'm dying. But David's phone rang. Hold on, Dad. I gotta take this. He walked away. Never came back. That night, Harold made video number 12. I'm starting to understand something. They don't see me because they don't want to see me. It's easier to believe Dad's fine. Dad's always fine. Dad doesn't need anything. He paused. But I do need something. I need them to just be here. Not on their phones. Not thinking about work. Just here. With me. While I'm still here. The months blurred together. Harold got weaker. The pain got worse. April 2017. Video number 13. June 2017. Video number 14. August 2017. Video number 15. In September 2017, Harold fell. He broke his wrist. And called David. Your father fell. He's at the hospital. David came. He stayed an hour. helped Harold fill out paperwork, then left. Gotta get back to the office, Dad. Big case. That night, Harold made video number 16. I broke my wrist today. David came to the hospital. He was very helpful with the paperwork. He looked at his cast. But he didn't ask why I fell. He didn't ask how I was feeling. He didn't ask anything. October 2017. Video number 17. Anne's health started failing. The stress of taking care of Harold alone was too much. She developed high blood pressure, diabetes. Harold, we need to tell the kids, she begged. I can't do this alone. I will. I promise. Soon. But he didn't. Because he knew. If he told them, they'd come. They'd fuss. They'd feel guilty. And he didn't want their guilt. He wanted their love. And he was starting to realize he'd never have it. November 2017. Video number 18. Thanksgiving. The kids came. All 4. They brought their families. The house was full. Everyone was busy. Cooking. Talking. Laughing. Harold sat at the head of the table. He could barely eat. The pain in his stomach was too much. Dad, you okay? Jennifer asked, noticing his full plate. Just not very hungry, Harold said. You should eat more, Dad. You're getting too thin. But she didn't push it. Didn't ask why. After dinner, Harold tried one more time. Can I talk to all of you? Together. Sure, Dad, Christopher said. What's up? They gathered in the living room. 8 adults, 4 kids, 4 spouses, 7 grandkids. Harold looked at them. His family. I just wanted to say, I love you all very much. And I'm grateful for this time together. We love you too, Dad, they said. But they were looking at their phones. At their kids. At the TV. Not at him. That night, Harold made video number 18. I almost told them tonight. I really did. But I realized something. It doesn't matter if I tell them or not. Because they're not really here. They're physically here, but not really. He was crying now. I'm lonely in a room full of people. And that's worse than being alone. December 2017. Video number 19. Christmas. Harold's last Christmas. He knew it. The doctor had said, maybe 6 months. Maybe less. The family gathered again. More chaos. More noise. Harold watched from his chair. He barely had the energy to move anymore. Late in the evening, after everyone had opened presents, Harold called and over. Honey, can you get the camera? I want a family photo. And set up the camera. Everyone gathered around Harold's chair. They smiled. They laughed. They said cheese. Click. It was the last photo of Harold with all his children. That night, he sat in front of his video camera. But he didn't make video number 19 yet. Instead, he watched the family photo on the camera's screen. He looked at his children's faces. Happy. Smiling. They had no idea their father was dying. And Harold made a decision. He would make the rest of the videos. But they would be different. They would be his goodbye. January 2018. Video number 19. Harold sat in front of the camera. He looked terrible. Gray. Thin. Exhausted. If you're watching this, I'm dead. He took a shaky breath. I'm making this video because I need you to understand something. I've been sick for almost 3 years. Cancer. Prostate, then lungs, then liver. I went to 78 chemotherapy sessions. I went alone to every single one. He paused. You visited me 23 times in those 3 years. That's 1 visit for every 3.4 chemo sessions. Each visit lasted an average of 18 minutes. His voice was calm. Factual. I recorded every visit. I counted every minute. Not because I wanted to punish you, but because I needed to know if I was crazy. If I was imagining that you didn't care. He looked directly at the camera. I wasn't imagining it. February through May 2018. Videos number 20, 21, 22, 23. Harold continued recording. Each visit. Each disappointment. Each moment of hope that maybe this time they'd notice. They never did. By May, Harold could barely walk, and had to help him to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to bed. "Harold, please. Let me call them," and begged. "Not yet." "Why not?" "Because I want to see. I want to see if they'll notice on their own." "Harold, they won't. You know they won't." "I know." On May 14, 2018, Harold made his final video. Video number 24. He was in bed, pale, weak, but his mind was clear. "My name is Harold Raymond Mitchell. I'm 76 years old. I'm a father, a grandfather, a husband, and a retired teacher." He paused to catch his breath. "I'm also a man who's been dying of cancer for 3 years. Alone." He looked at the camera. "I made 23 videos of my children's visits. I want you to watch them all. I want you to see what I saw. The phones. The distractions. The excuses. The absence." His voice was gentle. Not angry. Just sad. "But I also want you to understand something. I don't blame you. Not really. This is partly my fault. I chose not to tell you. I chose to suffer alone. Maybe I was testing you. Maybe I was protecting you. Maybe I was just scared." He wiped his eyes. "But here's what I learned. Love isn't enough. Intention isn't enough. You have to show up. You have to be present. You have to notice." He took a shaky breath. "And you didn't." He looked away, then back at the camera. "I'm leaving you each some money. Not much. $20,000 each. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm your father, and I love you anyway. Use that money to do something. Take your kids to visit their grandparents. Anne's still here, and she'll need you. Or use it to learn a lesson. Teach your own children. Don't be like us. Don't wait until it's too late." He smiled sadly. "I love you, Jennifer, David, Rebecca, Christopher. I've always loved you. Even when you weren't here. Even when you forgot about me. Even now." His voice broke. "But love isn't enough. Remember that." He reached forward and turned off the camera. 3 days later, on May 17, 2018, Harold collapsed and called 911. He was rushed to the hospital. This time, his body was shutting down. Heart failure. Liver failure. Everything failing at once. All 4 children came. Finally, Jennifer arrived first. She ran into the hospital room, tears streaming. "Dad. Oh my God, what happened?" Harold was barely conscious. Tubes everywhere. Machines beeping. David came next. Then Rebecca. Then Christopher. They gathered around his bed, crying, holding his hands. Harold opened his eyes, looked at each of them. "I love you," he whispered. "We love you too, Dad," they said. But it was too late. Harold slipped into a coma that evening. He never woke up. He died 3 days later, on May 20, 2018, at 6:23 a.m., and was holding his hand. So were Jennifer and David. Rebecca and Christopher had gone to get coffee. They missed his final breath. The funeral was on a Thursday. It was a small service. 50 people came, mostly Anne's friends, some former students, a few neighbors. The 4 children sat in the front row. They looked devastated. Genuinely devastated. After the service, they went back to Harold and Anne's house, and was in the kitchen with friends. The children were in the living room, talking quietly. "I can't believe he's gone," Jennifer said. "It happened so fast," David added. "Did he seem sick to you guys?" Rebecca asked. "I mean, I'm a doctor. How did I not see it?" "He seemed fine," Christopher said. "A little tired maybe. But he was 76. That's normal." They sat in guilty silence. Then Anne walked in. "There's something your father wanted you to see." She led them to Harold's bedroom, to his computer. On the desktop was a folder, "For my children, open after I'm gone." Jennifer clicked it open. Inside were 24 video files. "What is this?" David asked. "Watch them," Anne said quietly. "All of them." She left the room. The 4 children sat on Harold's bed. David opened the first video. Harold's face appeared on the screen. I visited Jennifer today. I stayed 8 minutes. She was busy. Real estate stuff. I understand. Today was my 3rd chemo session. My hair is starting to fall out. Nobody noticed. The video ended. They sat in stunned silence. Chemo, Jennifer whispered. David opened the second video. Visited David today. Sunday lunch. I was there 45 minutes. David was on the phone for 30 of them. I've lost 16 pounds. Nobody noticed. Rebecca's hand went to her mouth. They kept watching. Video after video. Each one worse than the last. Video number 12. I'm starting to understand something. They don't see me because they don't want to see me. Video number 18. I'm lonely in a room full of people. And that's worse than being alone. By video number 19, all 4 of them were crying. Harold's face on the screen. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I've been sick for almost 3 years. Cancer. I went to 78 chemotherapy sessions. I went alone to every single one. Jennifer was sobbing. David had his head in his hands. Rebecca was shaking. Christopher couldn't look at the screen. They watched all 23 videos. 3 hours of their father's slow death. 3 hours of their own absence. When they got to video number 24, Harold's final message, they were broken. I don't blame you. Not really. This is partly my fault. But here's what I learned. Love isn't enough. You have to show up. You have to be present. You have to notice. And you didn't. When the video ended, the room was silent except for crying. Then Jennifer spoke, her voice barely a whisper. We killed him. No. David started. Yes. Rebecca cut him off. Her doctor's mind was working. He died of cancer. But he was alone. Stress weakens the immune system. Loneliness kills. We didn't pull the trigger, but we loaded the gun. Christopher stood up and walked to the window. He was dying. For 3 years. And we never noticed. How did we not notice? Jennifer asked. Nobody answered. That night, they found Harold's will. It was simple. The house went to Anne. His savings, about $180,000, were divided. $40,000 to cancer research. $40,000 to a charity for isolated elderly people. $20,000 to Linda, the chemo nurse who sat with him. $20,000 to each of his 4 children. Attached was a note. This money isn't a gift. It's a reminder. Use it to learn. Use it to change. Use it to be present for the people you love. Before it's too late. Love, Dad. 5 years later, a documentary crew found the 4 children. They wanted to tell Harold's story. To warn others. Jennifer was first. She sat in her living room. Harold's old chair was there. She'd kept it. She sat in it often. I think about him every day, she said, tears already forming. Every single day. And I ask myself, how did I not see it? The interviewer asked, what would you say to him now if you could? Jennifer broke down. I'd say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on my career, on money, on things that don't matter. And I missed him dying. I missed the most important thing. She wiped her eyes. My daughter's 16 now. The other day she said, Mom, you're always on your phone. You never listen. And I heard my dad. I heard him in her voice. And I put the phone down. And I listened. Really listened. She looked at the camera. But it's too late for my dad. He's gone. And I never got to tell him, I finally understand. David was next. He'd quit his law firm. Now he worked at a nonprofit, providing legal services to the elderly. After Dad died, I couldn't go back to corporate law. Couldn't defend big companies. Couldn't bill 6-minute increments while people waited for my attention. He paused. Dad waited for my attention for 3 years. And I billed right through it. He looked down at his hands. My son Jake is in college now. I call him every week. Sometimes he doesn't want to talk. Sometimes he's busy. But I call anyway. Because one day, I'll be old. And I'll need him. And I want him to know how. Rebecca was the most devastated. She'd quit medicine entirely. I'm a doctor, she said, her voice empty. I spent years learning to see symptoms, to diagnose, to care. She laughed bitterly. But I couldn't see my own father wasting away. 25 pounds gone. Yellow skin. Exhaustion. All the signs were there. She looked at the camera with hollow eyes. I see patients now when I volunteer at free clinics, and I see him in every elderly patient. And I wonder, does this person have children? Are they visiting? Or are they dying alone like my dad? She shook her head. I can't practice medicine anymore. Every patient is a reminder of my failure. Christopher was last. He'd sold his business, given the money to charity. Now he lived simply. I built a company, made millions, and I thought that was success. He looked away. But I wasn't there when my father died. I was getting coffee. His voice broke. Success doesn't mean anything if you miss the important moments. And I missed all of them. The documentary ended with Harold's final video. His face on screen. His final words to the world. Love isn't enough. You have to show up. You have to be present. You have to notice. Don't wait until it's too late. Because it will be. One day, your parents will be gone. And you'll wonder, did I do enough? Did I show up? His eyes, tired but clear, looked directly at the camera. The answer, if you're watching this, is probably no. You didn't. But you still have time. If your parents are still alive, call them. Visit them. Put down your phone and just be there. Please. Don't make my mistake. Don't make my children's mistake. Be present. Before it's too late. The screen faded to black. And in a cemetery in Millbrook, Pennsylvania, next to a grave marked, "And Williams Mitchell, beloved wife and mother," stood another grave. Fresh flowers appeared every week. From Jennifer. From David. From Rebecca. From Christopher. They visited together now. Every Sunday. Too late for Harold. But not too late for Anne, who was still alive, still waiting, still hoping her children had learned. The headstone read, Harold Raymond Mitchell, 1943 to 2018. Father, teacher, friend. I was here. I was always here. You just weren't looking.